Hello YouTube, this is BUB'S Comics coming at you with really a small grail for me. I don't know what you call it. Minor grail, small to medium minor grail. So here's what it is. I've been collecting Wolverine comics, I've got, of course, Volume 1, which is just a 4-part miniseries, and also Volume 2. I'm trying to collect all the volumes of Wolverine. So I'm really excited he's coming back alive. I'm not really collecting anything in between his death and his new come alive. I'm picking up a few here and there and reading them, but nothing major. So anyway, in Volume 2, there's about 189 comics. Well, there's not very many variants, so that's nice. There's only a handful of variant covers in that original Volume 2 run, but I am trying to pick up those also. And I'd like to have at least a complete story. So I want at least, even if it's one copy, even if it's a reader copy of each issue in the story, I'd like to pick that up. And maybe next time, I really like seeing everyone's want list and things like that. I might do a comics I'm missing in the run kind of list and have that set up too, so people can see kind of where I'm at in the collecting process. But what I picked up on auction, I was very, very excited about, mostly because not necessarily for the price that I paid for it, because it was a pretty penny for my comic budget, but because it's a rare comic. It was a mail away. I'll go ahead and show it. It's Wolverine 102.5. So this falls into if it comes in between 102 and 103, of course, with a 102.5, and it was a Fleer Ultra, trading card mail away. So, or Fleer trading card mail away. So what happened with that is that that has Dan Slott and is the writer of the main story, and I'm gonna butcher it, but Boris Vallejo is what I would call it, as the artist. So there's a Dynamic Forces version of this that has like a little hologram, whatever down at the bottom. And it has a signature of Boris on there. So anyway, what I like about this is that I felt like I had to have, a wizard. It was a wizard. It has a little wizard written in a hologram at the bottom. What I really wanted this for was to complete the run, because I feel like if you have Volume 2, and I'm talking to you, Don the Comic Junkie, but if you have the entire volume, you've got to have this in your set, I think, because it's a 0.5. So when they do the entire volumes, I'm looking to collect, even though they weren't chronologically issued at those times, I look to collect zeros, I look to collect 1/2s, I look to collect any prequels that are officially canonized into that volume. So this 1.2 or 102.5 is officially canonized into the Wolverine volume, Volume 2, so I had to have it. So here's the issue. As with most mail-away comics, they're pretty hard to get at a reasonable price. This one has some creases, some color-breaking creases here. Now it has several non-color-breaking creases all over it that really hurt the overall quality and condition of the comic. However, the interior is intact and pristine. It looks like it's never been read. So it looks like somebody took it and just set it down and, basically destroyed it. Like, ran stuff, my wife said, like, throw it on a coffee table and kept their drinks and plates on it. And that could be. But the interior is pristine. Now, I don't generally open comics for videos, but I'm going to open this one. And I'll tell you why. It has something very special about it, and that is that this comic was a promotion from Fleer Cards, and it was part of the Ultra X-Men Wolverine set. And what they did is they gave some special production requirements to this. So every page in this comic had to be representable on a trading card. So here's what they did. If you look at it there, it's a very odd mix, but there's all kinds of like basically, okay, so if you took this page and you cut it up into 9 sections, which would be 9 cards, right? 3, 3, 3, all into boxes. Then you would see that the cards are actually, they all had to feature a main character because, as you know, the trading cards, they have a main character and then like a bio on the back or a story on the back. So if you see that has a main character, that has a main character. The center one would obviously be Wolverine. You know, and that's what they did. So there's Omega Red as a main character. There's Deadpool as a main character. There's Cyber. So they went through, and each page, like, if you could see, imagine there being lines there, and there would be, you know, characters cut away in each section. Very difficult to do. Had to have been really, really tough to draw to get that out just right. But man, did they do a fantastic job, I think, of doing it. It's just fantastic. It looks beautiful. It looks like a beautiful mess. So anyway, so that's what this book is. And then at the end, it has a little, like, baby's story, which is actually pretty funny and cute. And then they have an extra pin up there of a Marvel masterpiece on that. So, like I said, I don't usually open comics up to show them, but I wanted to show that because it's just a fantastic idea, and it's one that I think a lot of Wolverine collectors are going to miss. So the story on picking this up was that I've only ever seen this for like $150. It just is always that, it's always that high, it seems. Now, this comic was graded, unofficially at a 2.5. So, and I could see that from the cover, but as you saw, the interior is excellent, and with a pressing and dry cleaning, I think you could bump up several grades because not all the breaks in there are color breaking. There's several there, and I'm sure that it would get a maximum grade of like 3.5, but still pretty nice to look at, and the cover itself kind of has an old painted look. So it doesn't. Actually, the color breaks on this give it character to me. It actually, like, even if this comic was pristine, I don't know that I would even like it as much. I like the color breaks on this cover. I don't know why, but anyway, you can only ever see this comic come available in like a 6 or a 7 or above. So when you see it for 6 or 7 or above, you know you're going to spend the 6s or 7s are $200. $300, $400 for this comic, and then you start getting into the Wizard edition that are signed, and you're up over $400. I'm not spending that for a 102.5, which I'm getting basically because it's a cool comic and it's a good conversation piece, and I would like to show it off. It'll be one that I keep out a lot to show people, but basically it is what it is, and I don't think it. For $400, there's a lot of other comics I'd rather have. So I really like this. I got it for like $75 on auction. And I was super, super happy with that. It's about half the grade of, to me, of a 7. And therefore, in my opinion, about half the price. So this is a $150 comic at a 6 or a 7. So getting it at a 3 to 3.5, I'm totally happy with spending $75. I had to bid out a couple of people to get it, but I was super, super happy. My max bid on it was going to be $75, and I decided to make it $80 just in case somebody else put $75. Actually, $81, because I figured I want it for $75, but I'd take it for $80, and I think the final winning bid was by me $77. So, like I said, this is like a minor grail for me because it's a book that I didn't think that I would own anytime soon, and when I thought that I would have to own it, or when I thought I'd have to pay for it, I always suspected that I was going to be spending a good chunk of change for it. A good, probably $200 at least is what I thought I'd have to pay to get this comic. So super happy to get it. So now, of course, on the want list will be the 1996 Fleer Ultra Wolverine set, which I think I have some parts of, but I don't have the entire collection. So there you go. So that's Wolverine 102.5, a minor grail for me, just because I didn't think I'd own it. And to me, any comic book that costs on average over $100 has got to fit into at least the key issue, or in this case, because it was unique and a mail away, it makes it even more tough to find because there's only so many of them out there. And like I said, the condition wasn't really a factor for me on this one, as long as it wasn't like water damaged and wrinkled up, and it's not. It's just got some literally scratches on the cover. They're not even really creases, they're like scratches. So I think a little press, probably bump it up a half grade to a grade, but we're not even going to worry about that. Just going to be glad to have it. Super excited. Busted my comic budget for about 2 weeks, but that's how it works. So just thought I'd share that with y'all. Enjoy your days. If you guys are going to go see movies, enjoy the movies. We saw that one last night. That's all I'll say. So it was great. So enjoy this, and hope y'all like it, and I just love it. All right, it's BUB'S Comics. Go read a comic. Bye.